To the question everybody wants to know. LeBron, what's your decision?
In this fall, man, this is very tough. In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to
Going to the jeweler, bust the AP, yeah. Sliding on the water like a jet ski, yeah. I'm tryna fuck you on your bestie, yeah. Chop up with this girl, so do not test me, yeah. Ric Flair drip, go woo on a bitch. 5790, spit the coupe on my wrist. Multi-million-dollar, I'm a fool with the hits. Hop up in the lemon, drop the roof, show the tits. Poppin', but you really not gon' shoot. 90 pointers, time my diamond look like hula hoops. Hoppin', moppin', take her in the seats of my suits. Balenciaga, check my purse, Valentino boots. Woman out of way, a lot of lamb, a lot of race. Never hesitate to give a nigga yellow tape. And worry about the bag, cause the cash accumulate. Soon as we came in the game, all these niggas, they imitate. Put my mind on it, then I put my grind on it. Put the iron on them if a nigga my opponent. My code 500, I don't put no miles on it. I was running wild, homie, with 500,000 on me.
With the first pick in the 2003 NBA Draft, the Cleveland Cavaliers select LeBron James.
Probably the most anticipated debut of any first-year athlete in any sport. LeBron James will put it on the floor for the first time in a regular season game tonight. Welcome, everybody, on the run. This is his best part of his game, and there's his first assist, and it's a beauty.
And that's what makes him so good, and that's where his skills are really going to blossom, because now he's able to throw those passes to...
Basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court, just like I'm the king on the microphone. So it's Dr. J and Moses Malone. I like slam dunks and taking it to the hoop. My favorite play is the alley-oop. I like the pick and roll. I like the give and go, cause it's basketball or Mr. Curtis Blow. Take the girl to see Tiny play against Earl the Pearl and Will, Big O, and Jerry West play basketball at its very best. Basketball has always been my thing. I like Magic Bird and Bernard King. And number 33, my man Kareem is the center on my starting team. Yes, Clyde, Rick Barry, and Pistol Pete. Now these players could never be beat. Isaiah and Iceman too, just give them the ball and then you chalk up too. Dantley and Wilkins are on the scene, and Ralph Simpson is really mean. Bill Russell didn't take no jump, and Dal Dawkins got a monster dunk. To the hoop, y'all. Yes. Ha-ho, here I go. Deal.
So he's going to play very, very well. He says, I've got to make it as tough as possible for him.
Nice moving. Not a bad way to get on the board. Yeah, that's his game. He is the most valuable player. 48% shooting. That's one of the things you love about him.
Well, Cleveland will run pick and roll from the wings and the top of the circle. If Washington continues to switch, then you'll see LeBron level off and take his man. That time, Jamison, no way can he play him off the dribble.
He's the all-time leader in youngest ever accomplished category. Just look at them one after another with the Rookie of the Year. Of course, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 all up. Youngest ever recorded triple-double points in a single season this year, the All-Star Game MVP. It really is truly amazing the numbers that he's accomplished.
Now that's LeBron at his best. His outstanding ball handling ability. Now, see, he can get to go wherever he wants. He reads the defense. For some reason, he's slacking on the boards. He only has 8 rebounds. All right?
And the crowd on its feet here in Cleveland. And the Cavs will dribble it out. LeBron James' playoff debut was a masterpiece.
Thanks, Mike. LeBron, Mike Green just called this a masterpiece. How did you think this very first playoff game for you would go?
Man, it was everything that I expected. The high-intensity crowd, every possession counts, and it's one of the defensive ends, and we showed that tonight.
How did this compare to your wildest dreams?
Well, I've had some great dreams before, but this is one of the best, for this to come true finally, and for us to play the way we played today, it's magnificent.
But a triple-double, was this what you envisioned for yourself in your very first playoff?
Never. I just wanted our team to come out, play hard, and just try to get a win and protect home court.
So are you saying that you've even surprised yourself?
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Now it's this best-of-7 series. How do you top this performance?
Well, we just have to play the same way we played tonight. Try to load as much as we can on Gilbert Arenas, Antoine Jameson. They've done a great job of, beating us this year. So we want to just come in here, try to get as many defensive stops as we could, and try to run on the other end. We was able to do that.
Thanks a lot. Good luck.
In an amazing 8.5-minute stretch. Flip Murray with that Detroit bucket. Down at 20 seconds. Down to 15. Here's Jones. Marshall with another offensive rebound. The Cleveland Cavaliers in a stunner have knocked off the Detroit Pistons, and they are headed to the NBA Finals to face the San Antonio Spurs. Well, this is an improbable run by the Cavaliers coming into this series. Not many people who felt that the Pistons could be knocked off by the Cavaliers. Daniel Gibson,
Still that part of it can be like right. Yeah, some point. Perché tu hai detto dove cazzo era così.
our back is inside the 2 walls right now, being down 0-3. So, you know, it's either win.
James inside, banks it in. 76-71, disappointing finish to get swept. And Ginobili hits the free throw.
Makes you feel good when it's one for the good guys.
Meanwhile, LeBron James, you can take some solace in the fact that Shaquille O'Neal, first time he was in the finals, they were swept. It was 95, he was with Orlando, Houston beat them 4 straight. Pass inside to Barajal, 78-73. David Robinson won a pair with the Spurs as Finley rattles it in. Betty to clinch their 4th. And you could say this is the best of all the Spurs teams. Many think that. Finley misses that one. 6-point game, still a 2-possession game. They need 3-pointers now. Damon Jones blocked from behind and a foul by Ginobili. With 7.5 remaining and 3 free throws for Damon Jones. He hit him on the head. He got him on the head.
Oh, yeah, Ginobili, there's no sense even being in the picture.
But it appeared he was beyond. Oh, no question about it. Good call from the officials. Damon Jones to the line. This is his first free throws of the finals.
Right now, in case there's a miss, their best offensive rebounder.
68% from the line during the regular season. Does not shoot a lot of free throws, but makes all 3. And that makes it a 2-possession game. Played in so many pressure games throughout his career. Europe, Olympics, and the NBA. And hits both. It's the NBA Finals MVP. James fires up the 3, and he puts it in. Back to a 2-point game with 4.2 remaining. Cavs won't let the set. Inbound to Ginobili. Gets away. And there's the foul. Nano Ginobili getting precious seconds off the clock with 1.9 remaining.
Once again, another mistake. They try to hold Ginobili immediately, but you have to be in position where he catches it, where you can foul. They give him a running start, and then crucial seconds off of the clock as he penetrates up the floor.
And Ginobili hits the free throw, 3-point game. Again, Cavs don't have to time out, so they have to heave it down the floor. Ginobili puts on the finishing touches. The Cavs will just inbound with 1.9 remaining. Marshall throws it down. Damon Jones fires away. And there's the buzzer. The San Antonio Spurs are NBA champions once again. Their 4th title in 9 years. And the former Spurs assistant Mike Brown with a hug for his mentor, Greg Popovich.
Everybody wants to know, LeBron, what's your decision?
In this fall, man, this is very tough. In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
Miami Heat. That was the conclusion you woke up with this morning.
That was all, man. This is very tough. In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach.
Honestly, I think it was very arrogant, and I think it was a slap in the face to the city who supported him and been behind him since he was in high school. To go on national TV and spit in our face like that was very, very, very wrong. And if you decided that you wanted to go play in Miami, you could have did it in private.
I feel horrible, disappointed. I can't believe that he would do that to Cleveland. I hope he never wins any championships wherever he's at, because he's a loser. He's not a winner. He quit on us at the end of the game in Boston.
He kept us in the dark all the way up to the end. You know, I was sad when I saw those T-shirts yesterday that said, "Please stay LeBron." I mean, what do we look like begging somebody to stay and play for us? You know, if you're going to be here, you're going to be here. And if you're not, then just be gone. But you could have gave us the decency of letting us know before you let the national media know and the world know and embarrass us in the process.
I got a million ways to get it. Choose one. Choose one. Hey, bring it back, bring it back. Now double your money and make it stack. I'm on to the next one, on to the next, on to the next one, on to the next, on to the next one, on to the next, on to the next one, on to the next. Hold up. Hey. Somebody bring me back some money, please.
Hove on that new like how come? Doing my old buy my old album. Stuck on stupid, I gotta keep it moving. Make the same, me I make the blueprint. Came in the range, hopped out the Lexus. Every year since, I've been on that neck. Traded in a gold for the platinum Rolexes. Now it wrist match the status of my records. Used to rock a throwback, ballin' on the corner. Now I rock a telesuit, looking like a owner. No, I'm not a Jonas, brother, I'm a grown-up. No, I'm not a virgin, I use my I move onward, the only direction. Can't be scared to fail, search of perfection. Gotta keep it fresh, girl, even when we sexin'. Or don't be mad at him when it's on to the next one.
Somebody bring me back some money, please. I got a million ways to get it. Choose one. Hey, bring it back, bring it back. Now double your money and make it stack. I'm on to the next one, on to the next, on to the next one, on to the next, on to the next one, on to the next, on to the next one, on to the next. Hold up. Hey. Somebody bring me back some money, please.
The throwback jersey cause we on to the next one. And that auto-tune cause we on. And don't be mad cause it's all about progression. Loiterers should be arrested. I used to drink Cristal, them racist. So I switched gold bottles on to that space. You gon' have another drink or you just gon' babysit. On to the next one, somebody call a waitress. Baby, I'm a boss, I don't know what they do. I don't get drops, I drop the label. World can't hold me, too much ambition. Always knew it'd be like this when I was in the kitchen. It's in the same spot, me I'm dodging raindrops. Meaning I'm on vacay, chilling on the big yacht. Yeah, I got on flip-flops, white Louis boat shoes. Y'all should grow the up, come in, let me coach you. Hold up.
Somebody bring me back some money, please. I got a million ways to get it. Choose one. Hey, bring it back, bring it back. Now double your money and make it stack. I'm on to the next one, on to the next, on to the next one, on to the next, on to the next one, on to the next, on to the next one, on to the next. Hold up. Somebody bring me back some money, please.
Big pimpin' in the house now. Bought the land, tore the motherfucking house down. Bought the car, tore the motherfucking roof off. Ride clean, I don't never take the shoes off. Bought the Jeep, tore the motherfucking doors off. Put out that ride the like a skateboard. Navigation on, trying to find my next thrill. Feeling myself, I don't even need an X pill. Can't chill, but my neck will. Haters really gon' be mad off my next deal. I don't know why they worry about my pockets. Meanwhile, I had Oprah chillin' in the projects. Had out in Bed-Stuy, chillin' on the steps, drinking quarter waters. I gotta be the best. MJ at Summer Jam, Obama on the text. Y'all should be afraid of what I'm gon' do next. Hold up.
Somebody bring me back some money, please. I got a million ways to get it. Choose one. Hey, bring it back, bring it back. Now double your money and make it stack. I'm on to the next one, on to the next, on to the next one, on to the next, on to the next one, on to the next, on to the next one, on to the next. Hold up. Somebody bring me back some money, please.
What's your first reaction to this, Brian?
The last sentence, and again, this is in LeBron's voice, and my feeling is LeBron's probably been writing this in his head for some time now, days, not weeks. The last sentence is the only sentence that really matters. The last sentence is, I'm ready to accept the challenge, I'm coming home. And what he means by that is I'm expecting the challenge to bring a championship to Cleveland. That was the one unfinished business that he's had for this long time. And although he has enjoyed and accepted the success of winning in Miami, I think he realizes that the whole not 6, not 7, not 8 thing, winning in Cleveland would be so emotional to him. And the other thing that's happened as he's lived in Miami for the last 4 years, as beautiful as Miami is, as enjoyable as it is to be there in the winter, to live on that house on the bay, he misses home. Being in Miami taught him how much he missed home.
And one line here that jumps out, he's talking about his decision at the Boys and Girls Club to make the announcement on national television, is highly criticized by the media and fans alike for the way the decision was made. He said, I was leaving something I had spent a long time creating. If I had to do it all over again, I'd obviously do things differently. But I'd still have left Cleveland. Still would have gone. He just would have done it differently.
Well, he did the right thing. He needed to learn how to win championships. He did that. He went to a great organization. And now he can teach Cleveland. Kyrie Irving, we'll see if they get Kevin Love. I think it's a great story. I was being told from the day he went to Miami in 2010, he might go back. Don't rule out a return. And here it is.
He said in an interview, I think it was 2012, and that's when Cleveland first started thinking about the possibility of a comeback. He said something along the lines of what a story it would be if he goes back to Cleveland. And that story has come to fruition.
That challenge he talks about there, that's what I thought was going to keep him in Cleveland in 2010. I mean, I think if you grow up in Ohio, you live the Cleveland curse firsthand.
You know it.
He wants to be the guy who lifts it and breaks through
Said
that.
he would be the guy. And promised the city he'd be the guy.
Well, he also says here, he said he didn't want to be, that Eric Spoelstra and I didn't get along, that he and Riley didn't get along, that the Heat couldn't put the right team together. That's absolutely not true. He's trying to explain himself in a more expanded way than just saying, I'm taking my talents to Cleveland.
See the folks lined up behind me waiting to get going. Everybody who's been waiting for LeBron James to come back home.
Today, LeBron's coming back. It's a welcome home party. Celebrate. Let's go. 30,000 hanging around the stadium waiting to see LeBron.
Go Cavs! Let's go! This place will be off the chart tonight. The people are just anxious to welcome him back. Even though he might not have been here, he still did things in the community. The whole area really responds to that.
This is amazing. You guys in the stands, I want to thank everyone for being here. You guys are unbelievable that made this possible. I don't know if you guys know what happened in the last month with me deciding to come back and play here. It's people that came to me and said, LeBron, you gotta do what makes you happy. And I was like, yeah, I think so. And also, I'ma do what makes my city and my state happy. And that's why I came back. I love you. I'm back.
Win on the road, take a commanding 3-1 lead in these NBA Finals.
But obviously, people have feelings, and people's feelings get hurt, even if they're called a bad word. I guess his feelings just got hurt.
What did you say Clay said?
Clay said, I guess he just got his feelings.
Kerr take out Andre Iguodala. I agree with it because he's.
James fakes, James drives, James finishes, and the foul. And a chance for a three-point play to tie the game. Irving. Bogut with a bit of a shove. James with 4 to shoot. Gonna have to knock up a three. And does. Off to the races. Drive past Irving. Gets inside. Layup blocked by James.
Iguodala with a good push. And James, the second chase down block of the game.
For Golden State. Irving slides inside. Thompson right with him. Irving, bank shot is good, and a foul. Kyrie Irving does it again. One of the all-time great finals performances from a pair of teammates. 82 points as Cleveland forces a Game 6. What a road victory for the Cleveland Cavaliers as the NBA Finals will return to Cleveland on Thursday night. Kyrie Irving and LeBron James as we get set for Game 6. Thompson chased by LeBron James, hooked away from behind, then releases. And Curry has to back off as James throws it down. Irving fakes, drives, James on the throwdown. Good recovery for Barnes. J.R. Smith hits a nice, stolen by Irving. Throws it ahead to Smith. Smith, alley-oop to James! Wow!
Crowd going crazy. J.R. Smith in transition, recognizing the locomotive running down the middle of the floor is not how you drive, it's how you arrive. Mama, there goes that man.
So now with 14, found the range a little bit. Still overall 6 for 16. And a slow start. Golden State didn't score. As James lines it up and it's bedlam here in Cleveland. Curry blocked by James.
Making a statement on both sides of the floor. Says to the two-time MVP, get it out of here. Not on my watch.
That's the first ejection of Curry's career. J.R. Smith. And there's the buzzer. Game 7, Sunday night in Oakland.
No team in NBA history has ever come back from a 3-1 deficit in the finals, and now only one team separates the Cavaliers from not only pulling off the unthinkable, but from igniting the biggest party that the city of Cleveland has ever seen.
Alive and roaring as we get set for Game 7. Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection.
Great pass by Curry, running hard by Iguodala, and superhuman defensive recovery by LeBron James.
Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good! Kyrie Irving from downtown! And the Cavaliers by 3. Kyrie Irving, they get exactly.
Kyrie gets Curry on. Trying to go to work. Dancing with it. 2-3.
On the offensive end. Cavaliers by 3.
And I like the no timeout call by Steve Kerr.
Love picks up Curry. Curry steps back, fakes a 3, drives again, shut off nicely. Found to Green, 7 to shoot. Curry fakes the 3, steps back, crossover, puts up a 3. Rebound James with 30 seconds remaining. Iguodala to inbound. Shumpert trying to stay with Curry, catches, one dribble, steps back, puts up a 3, won't go. Rebound tip taken by Space, final seconds. It's over, it's over. Cleveland is a city of champions once again. The Cavaliers are NBA champions. Cleveland's long sports nightmare has ended. The drought is over. 52 years. Time to celebrate a title. And the emotions for LeBron James, who delivers on his promise to come home and bring a championship to his beloved hometown. Cleveland! This is for you!
Congratulations, you're the first team in the history of the NBA to come back from a 3-1 deficit. And LeBron, most valuable player, 2016 NBA Finals. Congratulations.
Championship together is like a boy championship season. It's just something you can never change.
Ultimately got it done. People said we couldn't do it. Showed a lot of perseverance and resilience.
This is our inspiration throughout the whole playoffs. We had 16 puzzle pieces to complete the whole puzzle. 15 puzzle pieces for all 15 guys that made sacrifices. In the last puzzle piece, go to Coach Lou. I'm at a loss of words. All I know is we're the 2016 NBA World Champions.
Got breaking news. LeBron is a Laker.
LeBron James is a Los Angeles Laker for what ought to occupy the final act of his NBA story.
4-year, $154 million a max deal. That's what he can sign in L.A. Likely an opt-out after 3 years that could put him back in free agency or negotiate a new deal.
First of all, I'm ecstatic. I think it was the right situation, the right call for him to make. He wasn't going to get anything accomplished in Cleveland. That was obvious. Philadelphia, it just wasn't a good fit for him to be paired with Ben Simmons, not to mention the fact that, in terms of their playing style and the locale as well, going from Cleveland to Philadelphia, just didn't make much sense. But the big thing is that you got to give kudos to Magic Johnson.
So LeBron came to this decision a few days ago, Zubin. He's been letting some select people in his life know that this was coming. He wanted to, before he made a final decision, go through a process which included speaking with people in the Lakers organization, which took place within the last 24 hours. He was already headed here as long as the Lakers didn't drop the ball, which clearly they didn't.
Sunday afternoon in Los Angeles, right around 8 p.m. Eastern,
LeBron informed Magic Johnson of his plans to join the Lakers. They ironed out the length of that contract. Now, the contract length is important here. That is a commitment saying that I don't feel this urgency to make sure we go all in this summer. If we didn't get Paul George, if we didn't get Chris Paul, if we don't get Kawhi Leonard, that's okay. I believe in the team and the structure you put in place in Los Angeles. I want to be a part of it.
This was always going to be an option, and if he thought the situation in Cleveland was not going to be as desirable going forward, this was always going to be the place. It was always a two-horse race between Cleveland and Los Angeles. The meeting with the Sixers today was a courtesy meeting. He had some interest in them, but they were never in the running.
LeBron James and Magic Johnson again met last night at 9:01 p.m. Pacific time. They met face-to-face. They talked for 3 hours. And more importantly than that, in the 16 years that LeBron and Magic Johnson had known one another, they never sat down face to face.
Wow.
Until last night.
This is sort of the way it is. This is the culture of the NBA and the Lakers have done, this is not the first time. The Lakers have done this going back to Wilt. And attracting him, getting him, to leave Philadelphia and winding up with them. So the Lakers have done this. They did it. Jerry West, of course, did it not just with one guy, but with Shaq and Kobe, in the Olympic summer of 1976, getting those guys, draft night trade for one and trade, the big trade for Shaq, the sign-in trade. So this has happened. This is what the Lakers do.
I sense that there's this clarity that comes from being above the fray, from being above the concern about how you're perceived and what people on our show and your show and morning shows say about him, and being a father and seeing the world through the eyes of Bronny and his boys and his children, his daughter as well.
There's a lot of question about how this would be received by Kobe Bryant, right? He's the guy that you're talking about, the Mount Rushmore Lakers, right? There's Jerry West, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant. Is there room on the mountaintop for LeBron James? I can tell you right now. I reached out to Kobe just a minute ago, and he is ecstatic. I mean, the first emoji I got was 3 fists, the arm where you're flexing your muscle there. And then he just simply said in all caps, I love it. And he's going to be in touch with LeBron James, welcoming him to the family. He'll have a lot to say, I assume, fairly shortly on social media about how he feels about it. But he's ecstatic.
Luke Walton, you were a former Laker coach and obviously a Laker legend. How does a young guy like that's still trying to make his bona fides in the NBA, how does he coach a guy, a talent like this?
Well, I think the first thing you got to do is, swallow your pride as a coach and understand that you got one of the greatest players that's ever played, who is also one of the smartest players that's ever played. So, you're going to have to bend his ear a lot and try to get into his head and see how he understands this game and what he sees out there on the floor, what he sees his team developing into in the next couple of years.
I will have to say, and one of the things I'm really interested in at this point is what Dan Gilbert and the Cavs' response will be. But he never signed a contract for longer than 3 years with the Cavs since Dan Gilbert's been the owner.
Tell me the ripple effect this has on the rest of the NBA, this move that you call seismic.
Well, first, they have another max slot. They can very easily create a second max salary slot. They talked to DeMarcus Cousins' representatives yesterday. They told them, sit tight. Let's see what happens with LeBron James. Now that they have him, they can, they could use that on a player, a current player. They can hold on to that space. They can sign a player on a one-year deal and open that space back up next year when Kawhi Leonard's a free agent. Jimmy Butler from Minnesota, potentially Klay Thompson in Golden State. But they have the assets with young players and potentially draft picks, giving future picks to get at Leonard in San Antonio.
So much of this depends on who the Lakers wind up keeping. Are they going to still have Ingram? Are they going to still have Kuzma? Who's going to be part of that team? But if you just put LeBron on the roster that the Lakers have, just add him to what the Lakers have right now, including Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. That's a better team than Cleveland got to the finals with just now.
One of the other things that's going on is that R.C. Buford, the San Antonio Spurs, and the Los Angeles Lakers have been on the phone on already 2 occasions today, and they're expecting to communicate with one another a third time this evening. From what I'm being told, San Antonio is asking for the house, multiple draft picks along with the young players. The Lakers have made it very, very clear they're not giving up the farm. Kyle Kuzma is off limits. They're not willing to surrender him in order to get Kawhi Leonard. They're not willing to surrender 3 picks in order to get Kawhi Leonard. Their mentality is Kawhi Leonard says he wants to be a Laker. So whether it's this year or next summer, eventually he's going to be a Laker. You need to get something while you can. San Antonio is holding down the fort. They're being incredibly stubborn, which is their right and obviously smart on their part. And they want to make sure that they get as much as they can from Kawhi Leonard. The Lakers have not given up. But if a deal isn't made by sometime, maybe tomorrow morning at the latest, then the Lakers will simply assume that this is not going to happen and they will move on.
How about that? So a little bit of a timetable there from Stephen A. Smith on what could happen with Kawhi Leonard. So let me ask you that. Let's just assume. Go ahead. What do you got? You got something else?
The other thing is that according to a couple of other executives, because of the personality of Kawhi Leonard and what transpired last season, they said to me, don't rule out the possibility of Kawhi Leonard sitting out next season before he's willing to come back to the San Antonio Spurs. That's how badly he wants out. That's how badly he wants to remain in L.A.
Brooklyn, they out-grit the Lakers 111-106, the final. And D'Angelo Russell and the Nets officially eliminate the Lakers from playoff contention. 21 points, 13 assists for Russell, 19 points for Dinwiddie, 26 for Joe Harris, and the Nets come up with a much-needed victory.
Have agreed to finally trade Anthony Davis to the Lakers. Now, here's the compensation package. Everybody's wondering, what would they give up? Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram. Remember, Ingram has the blood clots in his arm, so that's an issue. Josh Hart and 3 first-round picks, including the number 4 overall pick in the 2019 draft, which will air this Thursday on ESPN. That league sources tell ESPN. We've got the NBA's best insider with us. He's going to help break this down for us. It's Adrian Wojnarowski. He joins us tonight here on SportsCenter. Woj, I just gave the details of the deal. This is Tony Collins and Zubin Mehenti. What else can you add?
Zubin, Tony, this is a monster haul for the New Orleans Pelicans to get 2 starters, Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, an outstanding young player in Josh Hart, and 3 first-round picks, including the number 4 overall pick in Thursday's draft, which allows New Orleans not only to draft Zion Williamson at 1, but at number 4, get another, potential very good young player. But for the Lakers, they paid a steep price to get the player they had to get, Anthony Davis, now Davis, and LeBron James partner up in the West. Suddenly, the Lakers are a legitimate contender. They were able to keep Kyle Kuzma. This is everything LA had to do this summer. They had to get Anthony Davis. They weren't at the top of any big free agents list, but this certainly changes the dynamic of that Laker organization, changes the narrative. They've got Anthony Davis, who has said all along he plans to sign a long-term extension with the Lakers next summer when he can become a free agent.
This is very interesting. Tony and I have so many questions for you, and obviously we're going to continue to hit you with them here until 7 p.m. Eastern time. It's become the biggest story, obviously, in the sports world right now. David Griffin is now the executive vice president of the New Orleans Pelicans, had a good relationship with LeBron from his days when he ran the Cleveland Cavaliers. Do you sense in any way the insistence that Dell Demps, the fired Dell Demps, wouldn't make this move with the Lakers, but the relationship that Griffin might have with the Lakers, Rich Paul, LeBron, in any way, did that allow this deal to get done more quickly?
Absolutely not, Zubin. I think David Griffin was trying to make the best deal he could for the Pelicans. I think his focus on was maximizing the assets that they get in return, and LA was the place that they could maximize it because Davis had made it clear that's where he would resign. There were other teams interested, but the Lakers went to such lengths. There has not been a deal for a single player in this league as steep of a price as LA's paid, perhaps since the Carmelo Anthony deal that Masai Ujiri made with the Knicks in Denver.
a decade ago. There hasn't been a team that has had to give up more for a pick. So while Anthony Davis does go from New Orleans to L.A., you know, they paid a price, and they're going to be certainly limited roster-wise with those draft picks. They lose, you know, the core, you know, that, you know, very good young core there, but this is a deal L.A. had to make, and they paid a steep price for it.
Well, you keep mentioning how much of a monster deal this has been, and this is. When did this all pick up steam?
They've been talking, Tony, over the last several days. I think talks picked up as we headed into the weekend, Thursday, Friday. New Orleans had wanted to get this deal done by the weekend, ahead of Thursday's NBA draft. Now they've got that 4th overall pick. They've got to decide who they want to select with it. And remember, too, this deal cannot be finalized until July 1, but they will be picking on Thursday with that number 4 pick. And now the the Pelicans have some time between now and then to identify who they would like to take there, but also, you know, they could be in the marketplace to shop that pick. There are other teams who might want to move up. So this gives the Pelicans a lot of options here between now and the draft.
Woj, I wanted to ask you about one person conspicuously not in this deal, and this was a guy maybe only second to Anthony Davis in this deal that was talked about more than anybody else as the Pelicans and the Lakers tried to make something happen, and that is Kyle Kuzma. Again, it's Ball, Ingram, Hart, and a trio of first-round picks. Kyle Kuzma not being included in this deal tells you what from the Lakers' vantage point?
Well, they had to give up in other areas, giving up the 3 firsts, giving up Josh Hart as part of the deal, who's an outstanding rotation player for the Lakers. And, you know, Kyle Kuzma is a very good young player, but without him in this deal, it is still substantial to New Orleans. And certainly Kuzma now will partner with James and Davis. He'll be a key part of that Laker team, but it gives a lot of flexibility financially in New Orleans. They, you know, they're going to be able to, they have cap space this summer. They can go out and add to this core. They believe Zion Williamson's going to be everything that people think he's going to be, a legitimate franchise player. And the reshaping of that New Orleans franchise just sped up by, number one, the fact that they won the lottery, but 2, how much they got in this deal. But for the Lakers, they wanted to hold on to Kyle Kuzma. That was important to them. They did, and certainly he's a player that can help them win now, but they gave up plenty else.